Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a video that is going to be all about how to carb cycle. Okay, so carb cycling is one of those things that we get asked plenty of questions about every single week. So we want to make sure that we break it down into a nice simplistic video for you guys so you can get a great understanding of what this actually means. A lot of people tend to make this way too overcomplicated for what it realistically needs to be. But plain and simply, if we're looking at carb cycling as a whole, what is it? It all depends on the goal. So where you're trying to get to depends on how you're going to cycle your carbohydrates. You can use carb cycling as a weight loss tool. You can use carb cycling as a muscle gain and a weight gain tool also. It's not just a one size fits all trick pony. We want to make sure that you guys have exactly the right research, exactly the right reasons to actually do this so that you can move forward with your goal specifically. But I want to make note, why are we doing it? Real good reason that we're going to be doing carb cycling is to make sure that we're getting great nutrient partitioning. And this just means that we're going to be breaking down muscle tissue and then we're going to be feeding that muscle tissue. So, for example, if you're going to train a really heavy training day, you want more nutrients on that heavy training day. If you're training a smaller body part that day, you want less nutrition to feed that body, especially if you're working towards a calorie deficit. If you're looking into a fat loss instance, you want to make sure that nutrient partitioning is always programmed around big days and then also surrounding smaller days also. Your different calorie deficits, okay? This one is incredibly important because if you're looking to lose fat and you're looking to get leaner, then you want to make sure that you're having a bigger calorie deficit on some days and then a lesser calorie deficit on some days, and even in some instances going towards a surplus depending on how your body's responding. Now, the big thing that we can do with carb cycling is we can create that deficit at different sizes and also different percentages based off each individual person. Refeeding, that brings me to my next point. If you're going into a heavy caloric deficit for a longer period of time and then refeeding after a 1 or 2 week period, that's a really good response to help kick the metabolism and get it moving. So it's a very important part of carb cycling and can be done very effectively for weekend refeeds. Lifestyle. Now, a lot of people like to eat out on the weekend, so they like to have deeper deficits during the week, and a great effective way to do that is through carb cycling. So having less carbs during the week and saving them up for the weekend, because yes, your body is still going to build on a weekly basis. Your body recomposition. Like I said before, if you're looking to reduce your body fat and increase lean muscle tissue, carb cycling is a great effective way to do that. So we want to make sure the body is in the best place possible. We want to make sure we're getting deficits, we're getting surpluses, we're putting and meeting in the middle so the body's getting the right nutrient partitioning again. Digestive relief. Again, you're putting less stress on the digestive system by having those lower days and then increasing your stress on your digestive system when you're having high days. So less high days, more low days, less digestive, bad response. We want to make sure that the body is kicking over and having great relief of digestion because that's going to help you to get to your goal faster too. Now, how do we do it? Really simple thing here. How are we going to structure this? Now, say for instance, you want to get your normal macros, and we'll use just a very easy example. Protein, 200. Carbs are normally supposed to be 300. And fats are supposed to be 80. Now, if we're going towards a calorie deficit, and this is our normal day, this is just a normal day, Tuesday, we want to create a deficit on that day. So Tuesday, we would still hit our protein count of 200. The carbohydrates, we can go as low as a 30 to 40% deficit on this number, okay? So we'll go with a very, very easy deficit just for mathematical sake, but let's go with a 40% deficit on 300, and that is simply 120 grams of carbs less. So we're gonna go all the way down to 180 grams of carbs, and our fats could stay at 80. Now, because we've created that deficit, on Wednesday, we could build it out again, 200 protein, carbs, an even deeper deficit again, bringing it down another 80 grams and getting to 100 for this day, and then fats at 80. Now you can see the gradual progression here is dropping. Carbohydrates is coming down towards Wednesday. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to start to spike things back up. So we could bring it back up to the carbs, coming back up to 280, just below our original 300. Protein, we can keep that at 200. And then our fats at 80 again. Same thing goes. Keep working along the line, bring it down again. For the carbohydrates, we want to come down just below our original second day, 160. Carbohydrates for Saturday, we want to bring it down to 60. And then Sunday, on that final day for carbohydrates, we could boost it right back up to about 400 because it's still going to create a deficit for our week. The biggest thing with carb cycling is making sure that we have enough nutrients to last our whole week, but we still want to create a deficit by the end. If you add up all these carbohydrate numbers and then divide it by the number of days, you're still going to be well and truly under the 300 grams of carbohydrates, which is creating that carb cycling deficit that we wanted to get. But it's always important to make sure that we get that refeed towards the end of the week so that we don't bottom out the system. Now this changes week by week, and it's also case by case and person by person. So find out what your macros are. Macros are important. And then make sure that you also go and get the macro ebook because it has a macro calculator in it. Master your macros. Then get your macros sorted and start on this plan. Start with a balanced nutrition diet, start with something nice and easy, and make sure that you just stick to your plan and your goal. But that is how to carb cycle.